Cern and the Large Hadron Collider are well known worldwide, but what isn't well known are all of the bizarre tales and claims that this scientific site has spawned. Today we look into black holes that may end the world, something called strange matter, interdimensional portals, and even grazing sheep. With many of these claims originating on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even 4chan, join me in an investigation into the strange Cern stories that have popped up over the years. The Large Hadron Collider was built by the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or Cern, between 1998 and 2008, and it is the biggest and most powerful particle collider in the world. Located near Geneva, Switzerland, the LHC is housed in a 17-mile-long tunnel buried 575 feet below the surface. Accelerated to near light speed, these high-energy particle beams are collided into each other at 4 crossing points along the ring. The LHC is used to study physics, subatomic particles, and Einstein's theory of relativity, along with other theories involving space and time. Another goal of the LHC is to expand our knowledge of the Big Bang. By creating quantum black holes, they hope to find clues on how the universe was formed. This leads us into our first topic. Black hole that might end the world. The theory of Cern creating a black hole has actually been around since the planning of LHC itself. In 2000, an Italian physicist, Francesco Calligero, wrote an essay titled, "Might a Laboratory Experiment Destroy Planet Earth?" This paper would start years of speculation and commentary involving the creation of a black hole. Later, in 2010, when the LHC was first put into operation, another wave of critics would come forward with their own concerns. Many were worried that these experiments could open a black hole large enough to suck in matter around it, growing and eventually becoming large enough to engulf the entire world. These worries would just continue to grow as the LHC kept making discoveries. In 2012, the God particle, or the Higgs boson, was found, providing us with more ways to explain the Big Bang Theory and the formation of the universe. Shortly after, on November 18th, an Instagram post would go viral, getting more than 10,000 likes in 10 days. This user claims that the world may have already ended due to a black hole. Writing, "They state that when the God particle was made, it created a black hole that consumed the Earth in a split second without anyone noticing it. According to this famous research society, the notorious Mayan prophecy came true, and reality as we know it actually ended in 2012. However, even if many people would like to believe this, there is just no evidence to support this Instagram theory. Cern states that even though microscopic black holes are theoretically possible, they did not create one when they discovered the Higgs boson. Even if they did spawn a black hole, it would most likely evaporate within seconds, and if it didn't, it would launch itself into space before it could ever consume anything." The time-traveling saboteur. Before the LHC was even built, the search for the Higgs boson was plagued by a number of problems and technical difficulties. They had been having such bad luck that 2 professors, one in Copenhagen and one in Kyoto, suggest that there may be an influence from a future coming back in time to sabotage the project. This has even been mentioned in several scientific papers, with one titled, "Search for Future Influence from the LHC," and another, "Test of Effect from Future in Large Hadron Collider, a Proposal." These papers suggest that observing the Higgs boson would be so disastrous that an unknown force from the future was actively trying to prevent it from happening. The first big problem with the construction of the LHC would be a large coolant leak which ruined several magnets used to guide the particle beam. This caused the whole project to be postponed while additional safety features were put in place. The second technical difficulty, however, would be a little stranger than the first. Sometime before official operation, they were testing their equipment and they would come to see a large heat spike. It was so hot that if the beam was running, the automatic fail-safes would have kicked on and shut the whole thing down. After performing an investigation, they would find a piece of baguette on top of some outdoor equipment, which led to a significant overheating of parts on the accelerator. This again would cause the whole project to be postponed while they came up with a solution to this problem. This whole story just seems so unbelievable that many speculate that it was all caused by the previously mentioned time traveler from the future. However, if there really was someone or something trying to stop humanity from finding the Higgs boson, they failed, and it would be found just 2 years after the LHC started up. Cern experiments have thrown us into the multiverse, causing the Mandela Effect. Some question whether or not the world has gotten weirder since the Higgs boson was discovered in 2012. They speculate that in the process of finding the God particle, they also somehow threw us into the multiverse. At the quantum level, many mechanics remain quite vague, with many events taking place through probability and not cause and effect. This also leads to the popular theory that every possible outcome happens in the branching multiverse. Just 3 weeks after the Higgs discovery, the largest solar flare in the last century would be shot out by the sun. Fortunately, it didn't come close to hitting us, but if it did, it could have caused severe damage to electronics worldwide. Many use this as an example of where the first major branches would have formed, with the Earth being hit by this solar flare in an alternate universe. An anonymous user on 4chan came forward claiming to have inside knowledge of this, saying that we have already left our familiar reality. In these posts, they state that the quantum gravity that bound all probabilities into one reality was ruptured in the process of finding the Higgs boson. This supposedly causes us to drift farther away from the center branch of reality and leads us into a more improbable and strange future. This 4chan user points out the well-known Mandela Effect as proof that our universe was splitting apart and forming back together prior to finding the God particle. Some now think that we may just be doomed to have each year become more bizarre than the last, claiming that we are drifting further and further away from the most probable outcomes. One day we could all be infected by strange matter. Another theory that has been around since the beginning of the LHC is the hypothetical creation of strange matter. Just like the black hole theory, it's been thought that the collisions could potentially create strangelets. This material is made up of strange matter and is said to be at least as big as a particle. These strangelets could then possibly affect all normal matter around it, theoretically able to convert normal matter into strange matter on contact. Once grown to a few meters across, it would be considered a strange star, and it's also been thought that this could be a good dark matter candidate. Strangelets would consist of equal number of up and down strange quarks, all in the lowest possible energy state. Currently, all known particles with strange quarks are quite unstable, spontaneously decaying in fractions of a second. This means that a strange particle will always lose its strangeness, often by decaying into lighter particles. But it's also thought that condensed states of a large number of strange quarks concentrated together could remain stable. Although we haven't yet observed this, it's possible that it could happen naturally within neutron stars. Hypothetically, if strange matter collided with a neutron star, it could be boosted into a higher and more stable energy state. This concept is still debated, but if we're ever able to determine the type of matter in the crust of a neutron star, we'll get our answer. It's said that if strange matter is out there somewhere, a heavy meteorite-sized strange object would be capable of puncturing planets. Cern claims that the LHC is very unlikely to produce strangelets, but they do have plans to search for them using the ALICE detector. Deconstructing the Cern logo. The next 3 weird claims would all come from the same source. On May 28, 2015, a Russian Facebook user going by Sovereign State posted a video discussing his thoughts on what Cern was really up to behind the scene. The description makes claims that the LHC will open the gates to hell, that there will be a new world order, and that Cern will use the collider to reach a new depth of the Earth and open up a new dimension. The post quickly spread throughout most Georgian social networks, then made its way to the rest of the world shortly after. In the video itself, he breaks down a few topics, one of these being the Cern logo. He deconstructs it, showing that it can easily be made into 666. However, he doesn't seem to be the one that started this rumor. Cern has said that this claim has been circulating for many years. This logo was created in 1968 and is actually supposed to represent the rings of a collider. Interpreting the meaning behind Cern's statue of Shiva. Sovereign State also attempts to explain the Shiva statue located in the courtyard at the Cern facility, claiming that the statue represents some of Cern's beliefs. His video also compares the back part of the statue to the shape of the collider. He talks about Shiva being the Hindu god of destruction and claims that Cern aims to destroy and recreate the world. Cern apparently actually didn't order this statue for their own symbolism. It was given to them as a gift from the Indian government. India became an associate member of Cern in the 60s, with the Shiva statue later sent to celebrate this occurrence. It is actually supposed to metaphorically represent the cosmic dance of subatomic particles, as Shiva is known as the cosmic dancer. Shiva is a symbol of life force and is believed to have created the universe with dance. It's also said that Shiva preserves the universe and will one day destroy everything in it. This has also been a popular metaphor from modern physics since the 70s, when physicist Fritaio Capra used Shiva's dance to describe the field's relationship with the cosmos. Next to the statue, there's also a lengthy quote from Capra engraved on a plaque, with it explaining the whole metaphor. Cern experiments will start a doomsday scenario by opening a portal to hell. After a 3-year hiatus, Cern restarted the collider in 2015, also scheduling several new future experiments. The plan was to crash photons into each other, creating collisions at an unprecedented energy level in hopes of learning more about the origin of the universe. These experiments were also referenced in Sovereign State's video, with him claiming that this will open demonic portals to the gates of hell and doorways into the multiverse. Users on Twitter would also join in on this with their own speculations, with one user writing, "They began getting it ready when the planets aligned on June 24th. If y'all don't know about Cern, it's a demonic evil machine that opens up portals to other dimensions, hell, other spiritual worlds, not heaven or bosom of Abraham, and it brings in demons, wicked spirits, high evil principalities." Cern is opening up Hell's gates and allowing Satan to send fallen angels to Earth. This one is quite out there, and was originally published in a Nigerian Observer News website of all places. Posted in June 2015, it seems that this was written after the author watched Sovereign State's video, with many of the same topics being discussed throughout the article. It comments on the Shiva statue, the deconstruction of the Cern logo, and a gate to hell, even stating the Matrix, Avengers, Terminator, and the Mist movies are all real events caused by Cern. The author even cites a scene from Stargate SG-1, claiming that it shows a real Cern portal. The article even claims that Satan is in direct control of Cern and is using the particle beam to make a sort of gateway to let his minions through. He writes, "These people literally plan on unleashing something, and have even admitted that they might just do that. This is why I've been preaching so hard about abstaining from sexual sin." Adding, "If you're still stuck on sin frequency, you're wide open to being deceived by Satan, the Antichrist." Cern of course states that none of that is true, and they're actually just starting a new phase of experiments that year. They also say that anytime they perform a new experiment or reopen after a break, new conspiracy theories start to come about. Cult sacrifice performed in the main square. Making its way around the internet in August 2016, this odd video shows some people in black cloaks gathered around the Shiva statue in the courtyard. Caught on video from an observer on an upper floor, they appear to be performing an occult ceremony.
What the? Fuck! Shit! Fuck!
Cern denies having anything to do with it and stated that it seems the whole thing was performed in mockery of other conspiracy theories involving Cern and the LHC. A spokesperson would come out and say, "Cern IDs are checked systematically at each entry to the Cern site, whether it's night or day." She indicates that whoever those people were, they must have had access to the campus, also saying that this prank video was shot without permission. The representative also said, "Cern welcomes every year thousands of scientific users from all over the world, and sometimes some of them let their humor go too far. This is what happened on this occasion." They would also state that, quote, "Cern does not condone this kind of spoof." Hadron therapy and genetic modification. On December 17, 2020, a Facebook user going by Lash Modbazi would publish a post discussing the new international university being built in Kutaisi by the Georgian Dream Party. However, this person didn't think that the university was actually being built, stating that they were actually building a high-tech research center. This facility was going to perform banned Western experiments, such as genetic modification, on the Georgian people. More specifically, experiments on Georgian cancer patients. They also claimed that this research center was partnered with Cern, and said that they would be doing a number of experiments at this new laboratory. One of these was supposedly based on modern physics research and was a new treatment for cancer called Hadron therapy. This therapy was supposed to be similar to radiation therapy, but instead used high-energy particle beams. This also came with claims that it was funded by Bill Gates, the Rockefellers, and other rich technical companies. Unsurprisingly, none of these claims could be backed up with any sort of proof. It's been discovered that the Facebook profile is fake and is associated with other Russian groups and profiles that spread misinformation on topics like COVID. The profile was also an admin of the group called Corona Mafia and Georgia as an Experimental Country. The group would most likely share Russian conspiracy theories about Luger Labs, showing documents in the Georgian language as evidence of genetic experiments. However, when translated, these documents are actually from the Georgian Hepatitis C elimination program and have nothing to do with COVID or any secret experiments. Facebook has removed this profile many times, but it keeps being recreated. Cern has also stated that the research and experiments they perform have nothing to do with bioengineering. Portal opening above Geneva, Switzerland. Uploaded to Twitter on December 19, 2023, this post claims Cern created a portal above Geneva, Switzerland, showing some kind of, quote, rift in time appearing in the sky. This post quickly gained attention, was viewed over 10,000 times in 12 hours.
Oh.
However, when looked into, it was found out that this wasn't the original creator of the clip. The first post showing this video was uploaded on Instagram September 24, 2023, and didn't mention Cern or Geneva at all. Posted by Antonio Williams, he claims that he's not sure whether or not the video is real and says that it's a star opening a portal. But when looking at the rest of the comment in his profile page, you can see that he asked for support for more videos like this one. It also says that he is a video creator on Instagram and a digital creator on Facebook. And other than these posts, there doesn't seem to be any other evidence of a portal opening that day, with nothing else in the news and no other stories of it to be found. It seems pretty evident that this is indeed just a 3D animation. Portal opening during the April 8th solar eclipse. Just a while back, people in 13 states were going to get to witness a total solar eclipse. And just a few days before this, a post involving Cern would be circulated all over Facebook starting April 1st, 2024. This man would provide details of his visit to the organization as well as what he thought they had planned for the April 8th eclipse. This post would get over 1,000 shares in just 4 days.
They're going to open up and start using Cern and testing it the day of the eclipse. Here's what I think is going on. They, the powers that be, are opening up Cern in coordination with the eclipse to open up a gateway, a portal. And that's what I think these sites really are all about.
This claim was supposed to be referencing the date in which Cern was starting the LHC experiments up again for the year. But this claim was quickly proven false when on April 5th they got it up and running 3 days early, with no portal opening up. A Cern representative, Sophie Tessari, said, "What we do at Cern is doing particle physics with accelerators such as the Large Hadron Collider, and this has little to do with astrophysics in a direct way." It's also been reiterated that the equipment at Cern is nowhere near strong enough to open up a black hole or any kind of portal. The link to Satanism. On April 7th, 2024, a user on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, shared a video claiming to show the scientists at Cern performing a really bizarre and ritualistic dance. This post was viewed over 750,000 times, quickly spreading this rumor around the internet. This was said to be a, quote, demonic ceremony, showing proof that Cern was a satanic organization, and that they have also scheduled an experiment that is, quote, set to open portals to hell. However, in reality, this shared video is actually completely unrelated to Cern. It's also a bit older than implied, with it actually coming from the opening ceremony of the Gotthard Base's tunnel in 2016. On June 1st of that year, the Swiss put on a large spectacle, celebrating the completion of the longest tunnel in the world. Located at the Esterfield Fairground, which is 123 miles away from Cern, this event would include over 600 dancers, actors, and acrobats. It also wasn't meant to be demonic at all, with it said to have actually been representing the mythical significance of the Gotthard Mountains, and also the different aspects of the Swiss culture. Just a month before this post took off, the LHC had actually restarted after a winter break. Commenting on this whole situation, Anaïs Girard, a spokesperson for Cern, said, "But even in that case, they are not opening ceremony with dances, but rather scientific events streamed on social media where we discuss our research." The sheep on Cern property are a sentinel species. For the past 45 years or so, a flock of 70 sheep and 2 ram have roamed around the property at Cern, grazing on the abundant grass. Normally just there during the summer, the sheep were originally brought to the area as a form of lawn control and have been brought back every year since the 70s. Others, however, feel that there may be another reason that the sheep are at Cern, claiming that they may be a sentinel species. A sentinel species refers to animals able to provide advanced danger warning by detecting risks to humans. A good example of this is the classic canary in a mine scenario. They detect the gas far before we can, giving us a much-needed advanced warning. In this case, though, it's the sheep at Cern eating the grass thought to be an early warning system in case something goes wrong there. One Reddit comment reads, "If you can see the sheep starting to melt, you know the radiation is too high." So this was a lot of the weird posts out there on social media, but there's still a lot more, and they're still spreading strange claims and rumors. On a side note, Pastor Staley, who was shown in the Sovereign State video, was arrested later that year and charged with defrauding $3.3 million from elderly investors. Jim Staley, who ran the religious union, Passion for Truth, was sentenced to several years in prison, was later released in June of 2020. With many of these strange theories still concerning people, Cern has also made a statement about their safety, writing, "The LHC can achieve an energy that no other particle accelerators have reached before, but nature routinely produces higher energies in cosmic ray collisions. Whatever the LHC will do, nature has already done many times over during the lifetime of Earth and other astronomical bodies." So in other words, if any of these theories were true, we probably would have seen something happen by now. Thanks again for watching. Let me know how you like this type of content. This is my first video like this, so be sure to leave some feedback. Also, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out in the algorithm and gets my videos seen by more people. Also, thanks to Dire Trip for suggesting this video. This was Matt, and I'm not quite sure if I want to believe any of these, but they were definitely interesting though. My favorite has got to be the time traveler that sabotaged the LHC with some bread. Let me know what your favorite was down in the comments.